Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Elevating Your Life. Oh my gosh, another wonderful day, another wonderful show. Thank you for joining us today. I have with us today Megan Mary. She is a dream analyst, intuitive, introvert mystic, writer, and founder of Women's Dream Analysis. She works with clients all over the world offering dream interpretation, women's empowerment, transformative journeys, and spiritual awakening guidance. Megan is a dream worker that specializes in the analysis of women's dreams to promote transformative personal growth and enlightenment. She is the founder of Women's Dream Analysis and the Women's Dream Enlightenment podcast. After being diagnosed with 3 chronic illnesses, she experienced a spiritual awakening. She now works with women all over the world, offering dream interpretation, transformative journeys, and enlightened guidance. Oh, first off, welcome. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm just thrilled, and I'm really excited to chat with you. I would love to start with if you want to share any more of your background, and I would love to know what put you in the direction of being a dream analysis. What that is so fascinating.
Yes, I was very much led by the spirit realm, let's just put it that way. When I was younger, I was always fascinated by dreams, and I had wonderful flying dreams as well as recurring nightmares. And I always wanted to know what they meant. And I always felt that there was more than what I was being told and more than we knew in a scientific way about what was going on in the dream world. And when I was a teenager, I dabbled with dream dictionaries and things like that, trying to figure out what they meant, but nothing ever really resonated with me. And as I became an adult, I think I turned it off subconsciously, like a lot of people do, and stopped listening to them and stopped paying attention to them. And it wasn't until I became very ill and was diagnosed with several chronic illnesses that I realized that I needed to do some inner work and I needed to do some mind, body, and spirit work, not just the body part. And I started meditating and doing a lot of questioning and seeking again. And when I started doing that, it reactivated my dream recall. And I started really paying attention to my dreams. And I started receiving a lot of guidance in my dreams. And then I started receiving a lot of guidance that this was very much my calling. And I needed to hurry up and do this and spread the word as fast as I could to other women to help them on their path of awakening and realize the potential that dreams hold for us.
How was it you were able to take those steps into, I guess, understanding your dreams more and knowing what direction to go,
Mm-hmm.
after waking up to a particular dream? How did that happen?
I think over time, I've accumulated a lot of different perspectives and knowledge, both through what I studied at the collegiate level and then books I read after and other things that I added on, that I really came to understand what there was so much more going on. And so I took the psychological perspective and then I added on my own mystical perspective that I felt was also very much true and very important to integrate, because I had visitation dreams. I had some amazing experiences early in adulthood that told me that there was more going on. And so I really came up with my own method of decoding the wisdom of the dreams. And the way that I did that was that I really integrated my love of story. So I essentially look at dreams as stories and use my background of analyzing stories to help you understand the wisdom that your subconscious is trying to tell you.
Wow. Wow. So would you say as you begin to analyze your dreams, is there a way of opening up and receiving more dreams, receiving more details? How do you create that?
Absolutely, because it's a muscle that needs to be flexed, that needs to be strengthened. So the more that you start to apply your intention to remembering your dreams, the more you're going to remember them. And the more detail you're going to receive, and the more information you're going to be able to analyze, and then the more wisdom that you're going to gain. And I take it a step further and I do something called dream integration, where you take the information that you've gained from the dream, but then you say, okay, how can I apply this to my waking life? How can I make my life better and improve my life with this knowledge? And that's sort of the next stage that really gets you to that transformation, is not just knowing, okay, it means this to me, but what do I do now with that knowledge?
Yes. And how do we, so how would we put out that intention to receive more dreams? Myself, I'm someone that I don't remember dreams very often. When I do, they're very vivid and I remember them, but not that often. But yet I believe, is it true? Our mind is working 24/7.
Yes,
We're
absolutely.
sleeping and our mind is working. So
Yes.
what kind of intention, what would you put out there? Would it be just saying something when you go to bed at night, or
It
how would
is,
it work?
yeah, it is as simple as that. We do have about 3 to 5 a night. I swear I have more because I remember them a lot. As women, also, we need to be cognizant of the fact that our hormones really affect our dream recall. So when our estrogen is high, our dream recall will be high. And then as it wanes and cycles through, that will also affect our recall ability. But one of the things that you can just do is say, I will remember my dreams tonight, and repeat it over and over to yourself as an affirmation as you're falling asleep. You can also prepare a journal by your bed that can become just your normal type of journal, eventually your dream journal, when you start to remember. And you can write in that before you go to sleep about your intention to remember your dreams, and or about your intention of what a dream will be about, because there is something called dream manifestation or dream incubation, where you can actually affect a dream coming to you by the proposal of that, the invitation of that, the affirmation and the intention of creating that dream. And you can use your dreams to solve problems. So if you are stuck in a part of your book, or you are trying to come up with a new project at work, you can think about that when you're going to sleep and use that to ask your subconscious for the solution.
Wow, that that is so fascinating. I mean, just thinking about it, how much we can contribute to our lives and open up just by dream analysis.
Yes, the applications are so promising. There's so much that we can do.
Well, like, tell us a little bit then, when you're working with clients. Is it, is that a dream session? And they share their dream and you help them to kind of understand it and move forward?
Yes. So in a dream session, I have the dreamer supply me with as accurate a record as they can remember. And the key to that is to write it down right when you wake up, because you're going to forget 50% of your dream after the first 5 minutes. And it has a lot to do with the transition in the brainwave states that we go through. So you really want to record as much as you can. But in my method, I try to encourage you to record certain things. So I want you to pay attention to your mood. And I want to know, okay, what was the emotion that you experienced before you went to sleep, during the dream? And then once you woke up, were they different? If you were to give your dream a title as if it were a short story, what would you call it? And then I want to hear about all the different details of the dream. So, not just the plot per se, but also the people and the setting and the situation and the actions. And if there were colors or numbers, what the weather was like and what you were wearing, and all of those things. Because many times someone will say, well, I had a dream last night that my car was stolen. And somebody else might say, well, I did too. And then you say, well, where were you? Well, I was in the town I grew up in, and my aunt was there, and I was trying to get to work. And your scenario is going to be completely different from your friend's scenario. And so all of that minute detail that a lot of people usually leave out when they're sharing their dream is really where the clues lie, because it will indicate what that individual meaning is for you. And that's what we try to get at. I don't try to put a one size fits all interpretation or analysis onto everyone's dream. I try to draw out their personal subconscious associations so that we can essentially decode what is their lexicon of their dream, their own dream language. And that's going to be very specific to the dreamer. And when we do that, then we can say, okay, so how is this a metaphor for your waking life? How does this story portray something in a metaphorical way that's happening in your life right now? And how can we apply the experience that you had and the wisdom that you've gained to affect that situation in a positive way?
That is so fantastic. That is so fantastic. And I love that we all have our own dream language. And so is it important then to take note of nightmares as well as happy dreams, that you wake up feeling great with a smile on your face?
Yes, absolutely. Part of the reason is because nightmares hold the keys to deep-seated situations that we're not dealing with. So nightmares as well as recurring dreams are recurring because they're trying to convey a message that's not being picked up. Nightmares can be so emotionally driven because when we are dreaming, the logical part of our brain is turned off, but the emotional part of our brain is turned on and is acting in the same process that it would if we were awake. So our brain processes the emotion as if it happened, which is why when we wake up, say it seems so real, and I'm still upset, right? Which I call a dream hangover, because you still feel that emotion from that dream, even though it didn't happen in this waking reality. So when we look at nightmares, we really want to look at the story as a metaphor and the emotions that were at play, and try to figure out a way to transmute those emotions and transform that situation into a more positive one.
Wow. So we have our emotions running 24/7. Our dreams are coming through. So would you say in the play of that, also in the dreams, maybe messages from angels, loved ones,
Absolutely.
past pets? Where does that
Yes.
all come into it?
And that's why I call myself a mystic, because I interpret the dreams from a very mystical, metaphysical way. I feel that the dream world is very much a portal to other dimensions, and it is a realm where we pass out of our physical existence here in this 3D reality, and we do exist as spirits amongst other spirits, and time and space is not non-existent. So there's great possibilities there. And people do have visitations. I've had visitations. People do receive messages from spirit guides. And that can even happen in what I call the middle world, which is that space in between waking and dreaming. So if you don't have great dream recall yet, you can still listen intently in that middle world and get what I call middle messages, which is kind of when you're just waking up and you're not quite dreaming, but you're not quite fully awake yet either. And you're still receiving information. Sometimes it can come in the form of song lyrics. For example, you might have a song in your head, or you might have a phrase in your head, or you might be thinking about solving something, right? And if you can capture that in that space, because that also is going to disappear very quickly, then you are starting to access that subconscious information. You're starting to pull those little strings and that thread into this world. And I get a ton of information in that space. It can be very inspirational.
Wow. That is so fascinating. And I'm so happy you mentioned that about how, we lose the memory quickly, because that happens to me. And I think, Paula, what are you doing? No, I'll wake up, remember a dream so well, and I'm thinking about it. And 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, what was it about? So that's
Yes.
a normal thing.
Oh, absolutely. And even for somebody like me that I can remember 5, 6 dreams, and I still will convince myself, oh, I'll remember this one. I don't need to write it down. And then I will forget it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the way that our brain chemistry works, that we transition from those different brainwave states, and we just don't have the capacity to bring it all with us without that intent.
Isn't that fascinating? Oh my gosh, Megan, that is so fascinating. So can we, at night, okay, I'm going to remember my dreams. Could we also put out there or ask for messages about a
Yeah,
certain situation or a worry that we have or
absolutely. Yes. Yes. So you can ask for guidance, you can ask for answers, you can ask for solutions, alternative ideas, because your subconscious has a lot of information that you can't necessarily access in the waking realm. And you're also getting access to all of the other realms when you're asking that. And if you're believe in that spiritual interplay, you realize that you do have to ask, because there isn't going to be that imposition of will unless you and ask for that guidance and say that you're ready to receive and seek it, and be open to it. It's that old saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So you have to be in that space of being open to receive that information.
oh, I love it. So a dream can really be a catalyst for creativity.
Yes, absolutely.
Really?
And so many famous people throughout history have used dreams and that space in between waking and sleeping to find creative inspiration. And so many people, Albert Einstein invented the theory of relativity. Famous people have created scores and movies and wonderful literature and everything. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, all of those came from a dream. And even my novel came from a dream. So it's a wonderful place to, I call it a treasure box, really, to mine that information that is there waiting for us.
So is there a simple step that those, you know, that are listening to us today, that they could take one simple step just to open up and create more of that creativity or more of that messaging? What would you advise?
I would advise starting with a habit of thinking backwards when you first wake up. So much like when you walk into a room and you forget what you went in there for, and you stop and you have to retrace your mental steps, it's much like that. So when you wake up, instead of jumping out of bed, lay there for a minute quietly with your eyes closed and try to think about what you were just doing, who you were just talking to, what you were just trying to figure out, what you were just experiencing, who you were just with, what you were just looking at. And it won't come immediately. You have to focus, but you'll get one little hit. You'll say, oh, yeah, that's right. I was in a library. And you focus on that. And then it'll start to reveal itself backwards. You'll start, oh, now I remember. And you'll start to remember more and more of it. And you can even write it down backwards. So basically up the page. So say the first thing that you remember at the bottom of the page. And then the more you remember, write it above that, above that, above that, so that you get that linear account as you remember it.
So cool. That is just so cool. Well, tell us a little bit about your fantastic podcast
Oh,
and
yes.
where we can listen to it and learn more.
Yes. So the podcast is called Women's Dream Enlightenment, and it is deep discussions, dreams, and stories of spiritual awakening. It's all different women from all over the globe come on and tell the stories of their spiritual journeys, what they've discovered about themselves, as well as open up their dream journals and share their dreams live on the show. And we analyze them and walk them through that process. And you can find it on all of the major outlets. I believe it's over 20 platforms, 4 different video platforms. So it's everywhere you can find podcasts.
Oh, it sounds so fun.
Every
So
other Wednesday. Yes.
I love it. I love it. And share with everyone your website information so they can check
Yes.
it out there.
So you can find me online at meganmary.com, MEGANMARY. And everything is on there. My dream sessions, I have online courses on dream decoding for women. I also have a spiritual transformation program that goes over 90 days where we work together and analyze your dreams. And that has the added special feature that I integrate sound frequency healing as part of the dream integration. So you pick 3 of your dreams, and I then create a custom meditation for you based on those dreams,
Wow.
overlaying sound frequency healing music so that you can really integrate that wisdom of that dream and use it on your spiritual journey.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. And sound frequency healing. That is so amazing. What a great idea. That is so fantastic. Something you've mentioned is that dream work can be ultimate self-care. Tell us,
Yes.
expand on
Yes.
for us, please.
I feel that it is because I feel that many times we don't pay attention to the subconscious whispers of our mind and of our soul. And I'm sure you've heard the phrase before, I don't know who said it, but the issues are in the tissues. When we have emotional issues and when we have blockages, we tend to manifest them in our body. And medical science can only go so far in diagnosing and treating those if we're not treating the emotional root cause of that and the spiritual cause of that. So I feel it's really part of anybody's self-development journey to start to gain that spiritual intelligence about the other part of their mind, the other 95% of their mind that they're not paying attention to. And
95%.
yes, only 5% is conscious, 95% is subconscious.
That
So
that
if
just
you,
takes your breath away. It really.
yeah. So if you want to talk about self-help, that's really a huge part right there that we could start with.
And from what you've experienced and seen over the years, has shown you how we can tap into that 95%, can't we?
Yes, absolutely. And we just aren't aware. We're just not aware that we have the ability. Sometimes we don't have the tools to do it either. And sometimes we're not ready. So it's really when you are on that seeking path, when you find yourself feeling called to something greater, when you're starting to see signs and synchronicities, when you're starting to feel that there's something more that you're not aware of that you want to tap into, that's really a sign that you're starting down that path of spiritual awakening, that you're starting to be awakened to the possibilities and that your intuition is starting to whisper in your ear. And that's really where the dreams come in as a great modality for that.
Yeah, yeah. Because if we're open to it, we can receive so many signs and so many things. And I can just imagine, Megan, what you have seen and experienced in helping others open that up and what it's been like for you. Uh,
Yes, it's been an
it's
amazing journey.
amazing.
And I enjoy walking in those shadows with other people and helping them heal themselves by bringing them home to themselves, really, by helping them re-meet and remember their true self.
Oh, I love it. We have just a couple minutes left in the show. What last message do you want to share with everyone? And I would love you to give us a little sneak peek. Share with everyone. I understand you have a book that's going to be coming out later this year.
Oh, yes, yes. So my message would be listen to your dreams, simply put. And yes, I do have my debut fiction novel coming out this fall, and it's a metaphysical mystery. And it really does tell the fictional story of a woman on her spiritual awakening and how she discovers her family lineage through her dreams and the magical journey that it takes her on.
Oh, wow. I can't wait. I can't wait. That is just going to be so fantastic. And really, I love that verbiage. I would think opening up and doing more with our dreams could be a magical journey for us all.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And it's going to be coming out in this fall near Halloween because it's based at Halloween. So,
Oh, how fun.
yes, my favorite.
Oh, Megan, this has been so fantastic. And I am going to be thinking about this before I lay my head on the pillow tonight. What we
Excellent.
can do with our dreams. And again, everyone, it's meganmary.com. Check it out. And I'm excited to check out your podcast. It sounds just fascinating. And oh my gosh, thank you. You're making such a difference in so many lives. Thank you for being such a beautiful energy for us, Megan.
Thank you for having me, Paula. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. To everyone out there, thank you for joining us. Love, hugs, and blessings. Megan, love, hugs, and blessings. Have a wonderful day, everyone.